Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another NASCAR video. Today we are going to be ranking all of the paint schemes for the 2020 Coca-Cola 600. Of course, this Memorial Day weekend, and NASCAR likes to do more Americanized paint schemes to honor the military, honor America during the Coca-Cola 600. So that's what we're going to be going over today, all of the paint schemes that are on this website here that have been entered into the race. And I'm going to give my opinion on them. We're either going to give it a snot rod or a hot rod. Obviously, if it's a snot rod, it's not a good looking car. If it's a hot rod, it's a good looking car. Basically that simple. But I do want to give one disclaimer. This is just one website, so other cars that might not be on this website may be in the race if they were added late, or paint schemes have just come out, so they might not all be on this list, as well as I hope some of these cars are not correct and they will be running different paint schemes, but since they're on this website by NASCAR, I wouldn't put my money on it. So let's just jump right into it. Let's start with the 00. You'll see all the cars here. The 00 of Quinn Houff in the Good Greek Mover Chevrolet. I'm going to give this one a snot rod because it's not Americanized. There's no red, there's no white, there's no blue, and maybe that's because it's a smaller team. Maybe that's because I just don't like yellow. I don't know. I'm giving it a snot rod since it's just not special for this weekend. Next up is the Kurt Busch GEARWRENCH Chevrolet. This is a very cool looking car. I know we ran this paint scheme very similar last year, but it's not really special for Memorial Day weekend. It's not special for the race. I'm giving it a snot rod. Just not what I'm looking for, but it is a cool car. Next up, Brad Keselowski's Miller Lite Ford, also a snot rod. Now this one is Americanized, but we've seen it before, right? We've seen this very similar design. I just am not a fan of it, but it is a cool car. I mean, I've seen it before. That's pretty much it. I want to see something new, something fresh from Team Penske, and I think they have the capabilities to do it. This is not what I want to see, so it gets a snot rod from me. Next up, Austin Dillon's 3 Coca-Cola Chevrolet. I love this car. This gets a huge hot rod for me. It's got the Declaration of Independence scribbled on it, the American flag whoosh on the bottom of the number, and then the top of the car, which you can't see here, but the top of the car, very, very cool. It's got an American flag basically from front to back. I love it. This is definitely a hot rod for me. Next up is Kevin Harvick's number 4 Busch Light Ford. This is disgusting. This is his normal car. It's a regular car that he runs every weekend. There is nothing American about this. There is nothing special about this car for this race. Huge, huge, huge snot rod. I mean, I don't even like the car in general, but just nothing's cool about this car. And other guys at Stewart-Haas are racing paint schemes that are more for this race. This is not it. Huge snot rod for me. Next up, Ryan Newman in the 6 Roman car. Also a snot rod. Even Oscar Mayer Wiener would have been more American than this, because Oscar Mayer Wiener is hot dogs. What do you eat on Memorial Day? Hot dogs and burgers and that. Not this. This is not it. It's not special. It gets a no from me. Snot rod. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Tyler Reddick in the 8 Alsco Uniforms Chevrolet. I do like this car. It gets a thumbs up. A hot rod for me, because I love the digital camo. Jimmy kind of did this last year. It's more of that desert digital camo with the browns and the whites. I like it. I also like the big swoosh of white and brown. Just a very clean car. Very clean, very special for this race. Big thumbs up for me. Chase Elliott, also like Kevin Harvick, gets a big thumbs down. Huge snot rod here because Chase Elliott races this car every single weekend. And it's boring. Like, I don't like this car at all. It's so simple. And it's every other Hendrick car as well is running Americanized, soldier-ish themed cars. This is boring. And this is what I was saying. I hope that these cars are not running tomorrow and they change it. This is boring. This is lame. Nothing cool. Nothing special about this. Huge thumbs down for me. Eric Almirola, on the other hand, like I said about Stewart-Haas, I love this car. It's something we've kind of seen before with Eric Almirola. He likes the swooshes on it, the swipes. He had this with the 43 as well. This time they're just colored red, white, and blue. I really like it. It is something we've kind of seen before, but I don't think we've ever seen it like this, so it gets a thumbs up, a hot rod from me. Denny Hamlin is literally probably the most car you could get. He did go kind of Americanized, kind of special with the stars, but it's still his regular FedEx orange and purple car. I mean, even when he wasn't in this race, you know, before he had the thank you on the front of the hood, maybe that's still there, but this is just, you know, it's a cooler car because he put the stars on it, but it's nothing really special. So gets like the from me. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Ryan Blaney, the 12 decks. This is also a boring car. Now, he's not in the Menards yellow. He's in the more red, white, and blue color, but I'm going to say it's a snot rod just because we've seen this kind of design before from Penske. It's nothing new. Snot rod for me, but it is a cooler car. Next up is Brennan Poole. I love this car. This is probably my favorite car in the entire field, and it is in memory of Nathan Chapman. All of his honors and rankings are on the side. I love this car. It really reminds me of Mark Martin's 01 Army car with the kind of yellow, and this one's like that green Army color. Love this car. I really hope he does well tomorrow. I want him to win because I love the car, but I think it's super cool what he's doing to honor Nathan Chapman and, you know, his family and the soldiers that have fallen. It's just super, super cool, especially since he doesn't have like a real sponsor. This is great. I love what he did here. I really hope this car does well tomorrow. That's probably the biggest hot rod in the field. Next up is Chris Buescher. Same thing as Elliott. Same thing as Harvick. Huge thumbs down. It's his normal fifth thirds bank car that he runs every single week. So big thumbs down. We're moving on. Kyle Busch. I really like this car. I'm going to give it a hot rod, mainly because he's wearing the Uncle Sam hat. The M&M guy is wearing the Uncle Sam hat, but I do like the red, white, and blue M&M's car probably most out of any of Kyle Busch's other cars. We have seen this very similar paint scheme before, but I like it. That's why I'm giving it a thumbs up. And I think the hat is different, so big thumbs up for me. And like I said, that's probably his best car, even though I don't like him very much. Okay, next moving on is Martin Truex Jr. I'm going to give this one a thumbs up as well. It's also a hot rod because he's got the bald eagle on the front. It's very red, white, and blue. He ran a very similar paint scheme last year with the American flag on it, and I like the bald eagle. I think it's a very cool touch. The front's probably pretty cool, and the top as well. I like it, giving it a thumbs up. It's a hot rod. Eric Jones is next, and I'm giving it a thumbs down. This is because it's nothing cool. Now, we're only seeing the side, and the car is called the DeWalt Atomic Thank You Toyota. So I'm sure on the front, kind of like Denny Hamlin had, it probably said thank you. But, you know, nothing really cool about the sides. Even in Matt Kenseth's old days when he was with the 20, he had a red, white, and blue DeWalt paint scheme. I know they're capable of doing it. You don't see it on this car. It gets a thumbs down. It's a snot rod for me. Next up, Matt DiBenedetto. This is the only car I'm going to give a thumbs up. A hot rod that is not Americanized. I really like this car. It looks really cool with the black, the yellow, the white. Hopefully it's got some more American themed paint scheme on the front. But I do really like this car. I don't know. It just kind of sticks out to me. I'm going to give it a thumbs up, but it's not as much of a thumbs up as any other car with the American theme. So it is a hot rod, but it's like a little hot rod, if that makes sense. Next up, William Byron, 24. Love this car. Obviously, Liberty University, where he goes to school. He's always been more Americanized in his paint scheme here, but took it up a notch this year with the stripes, with the stars in the front. I love it. It looks great. Definitely gets a thumbs up from me, and I'm glad they took that extra step to really put more of a theme on it than rather just a Liberty University, which is always kind of a patriotic theme, right? So, good for him. Next up, Ryan Preece, 37. This team always does really good with American themes. I love this car. It's got the wave. It's got like more of a melted flag on the side and the swipes of the stripes of the flag. I really like this car as well. They did a good job. It looks a little dark from the picture. I don't know if it's just the picture, but I do like the car a lot. It looks really cool. It gets a thumbs up from me. Next up, Matt Kenseth, 42. Big thumbs down. McDonald's is red. They could have done something patriotic. Instead, they put more yellow on the car. I think a white McDonald's, they could have been so much better. It is a new paint scheme, but it is a cool paint scheme, but it's nothing special for the race. And that's why I'm going to give it a thumbs down, but it is a cool-ish looking car. I just think they could have been a lot better. Next up, Bubba Wallace in the 43 Air Force. Another big thumbs up. Now, I know we've seen this car before with the, I don't know what it's called, but the World War II fighting planes with the big mouth on the front. I think that's cool. We have seen this before, but I do like this car a lot, and it's kind of got that plain, you know, paneled, bolted facing on it. So I really like it. It looks cool. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Next up is Ricky Stenhouse. I'm going to give this one a thumbs down. It's more of a snot rod. Again, I said this team is really good at, you know, putting an American flag on it, but this one is just kind of very minimal stripes on the bottom. Maybe the front is more patriotic, but for the most part, this is nothing really special from what they're capable of doing and what the 37 looks like. That's why I'm going to give it a thumbs down. Next up, Jimmy Johnson. Love this car. I mean, this is almost my favorite. I really like that green. It's a tank. It looks like a tank. I mean, the Ally Chevrolet, Jimmy does a really good job. Hendrick does a really good job with their paint schemes, and this one right up there. Like I said, it looks like a tank with the bolted, you know, green armor on it. It looks so cool. Last year he went with the digital camo. This year he stepped it up another notch. I love this car. I will 100% be getting this car. And I love Jimmy. I mean, all in all, it's a great paint scheme, but I love it. That is a hot rod for sure. Next up is the 51 of Joey Gase. This does not have a sponsor, but it's just painted in patriotic colors. Lots of stars, lots of stripes. I like it. Thumbs up from me. Good job with Joey Gase, even though he doesn't have a sponsor. I like it. Next up, Alex Bowman in the 88 ChevyGoods.com. I love this car as well. We've kind of seen similar things with it in past years with Junior and even with Bowman. But this year, again, I think they took it up a notch. The black car with the red and blue stripes looks really, really, really sharp. And the stars kind of washed on it as well. I love this car. This is definitely a top 3 for me. And I'm sure the front and the top look cool as well. Definitely a hot rod for sure. And the last one that we'll be going over is Daniel Suarez in the 96 Today Tomorrow Toyota. This one gets another hot rod for me. They kind of went the opposite of Bowman with the red, white, and blue instead of the black, red, and blue. But like this car a lot. The front kind of looks boring. It looks like the flag just stops on the side. But I do like this car, the way the flag folds and the fade of it. It does look sharp. I'm giving it a thumbs up. And I actually did forget there is one more car that I found before I looked at this website that's not on there. The 13 of Ty Dillon. I love that car as well. More of a digital camo. Again, that gets a thumbs up from me as well. It's a hot rod. So all in all, really cool cars. Like I said, Brennan Poole, Bowman, Jimmy, those probably are my top 3. Austin Dillon and Suarez also have some really cool cars as well. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments, because I want to know what you guys think. Is a hot rod or a snot rod? So let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed the paint scheme review, and we'll see you after the race for another one. Peace out.